From the start, the game feels unserious. How are we supposed to take a character seriously when she's constantly animated with exaggerated jiggle physics clearly made for the male gaze? This is how a game is made. Can't find anything to complain. Masterpiece, 10 out of 10. Every female NPC is dressed in a skin-tight bodysuit. It's like the game was designed more for addicts. While the service is certainly there, I will not be complaining. Beyond the visual fan service, Eve is a dull protagonist with no personality, and the story is just as lifeless and good story and a great example of why woke culture is garbage. Keep crying. Combat is okay at best, but nothing innovative or memorable. Stellar Blade hides behind visual appeal, but underneath it all, there's not much substance. Definitely not worth the hype. I shouldn't have said it. One of the best games I have ever played. I find myself wanting to master the combat mechanics and wanting more. The story is much more in-depth and interesting than originally thought.
Welcome to a new series on this channel where I will attempt to review every single Souls-like and Soulsborne game out in the world currently. This is obviously going to include From Software's masterpieces, but it will also include games that are considered to be a Souls-like. What is a Souls-like, you may ask? Souls-like is a genre that has recently gained a lot of traction and a love over the past decade ever since the emergence of Dark Souls. It includes games like Nioh, Lords of the Fallen, Final Fantasy, Stranger's Paradise, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, among some others. My 3 requirements in order for a game to be a part of this series is that the game needs to be challenging with a lot of bosses and has to have some sort of respawn system where the enemies are never truly vanquished and cool weapons or abilities to unlock. So now this includes games like Hollow Knight, Salt and Sanctuary, Respawn's Star Wars Jedi franchise, and a few others. What is my ultimate goal with this series? I don't know. To just say that I did it and to hopefully give someone a guide on which ones are the hardest and which ones are the easiest. And while I have played some of these games before like Elden Ring and Dark Souls, there are other games that have been out for a long time that I haven't had to try yet, like Dark Souls 3, Lies of P, and Bloodborne. So in order to hit them all and keep things fresh, I've decided to make a wheel and spin it to see what it lands on. Whatever it lands on is what I'm going to play on stream, live for y'all to see me rage at. And a quick disclaimer, no, I did not spin a wheel for Stellar Blade. A couple people in my Discord asked me to play it, so here we are. So shout out to them for being a part of the community, and if you would like to join the community, then the link is in the bio, and if you enjoy the content that I put on this channel, then please consider subscribing and liking the video, as it really does help me out a lot. And now it's time to talk about what you're here for. Stellar Blade was released on PlayStation 5 and only recently released on PC this year. It is admittedly a Souls-light more than a Souls-like, but it met my criteria for what I'm choosing for this video, so here we are. Developed by Shift Up, the studio known for their mobile Gooner game, Nikki, you play as Eve, an angel which are basically androids sent from space colony known as Mother Spear to eliminate creatures on Earth called Natiba and ultimately reclaim the planet from the monsters that are inhabiting it. Once you get to Earth, you will partner with Taki, another angel that is super badass and almost immediately gets cooked by this weird bird monster while she's trying to protect Eve. Eve gets knocked out and then rescued by a dude named Adam who wants to help humanity and needs her help to do so. That's the opening of the game, and while it does take some twists and turns, the story is without a doubt the weakest element of the game. From what I have been told, the story shares a lot in common with the 2017 title Nier Automata. I wouldn't know because I haven't played these games, but from what I know, people say that 2B is a much better protagonist than Eve. And I'm inclined to agree because I do not care about any of these characters, what they're trying to accomplish, or their overall well-being. Not a single one of these characters, including Eve, has a shred of effort put into bringing them to life, except Best Girl Lily, who was a part of the previous expedition that was sent down to Earth from Mother Spear. I love Lily, and it might just be because she actually has emotion behind her dialogue because the script wrote her to have a more bubbly personality. The mission structure is also a reflection of the lack of emphasis on the story. There are the main missions as I stated, but there are also side missions which besides a couple don't really make me feel compelled to care about the characters asking me to do anything for them. They don't sound interested in giving me missions, so why would I care about completing them for them other than the rewards? I'm listening to this dude that wants me to get all his stuff for a salon.
But I don't have the proper tools with me right now. Those so-called scavengers stole them. I can't run a business without my tools. But then they probably just threw them away. Those tools would be useless to them.
Thrown away? Where?
Things like that usually end up in the landfill in the wasteland.
Okay. I can look for them. In return, you will style my hair.
Sounds good to me. I'm missing 3 items. Scissors, hairdryer, and hair straightener.
Understood.
I'll be waiting here, Angel.
Bro does not give 2 shits about me, my hair, or his salon. I only did this so that I could change my hair appearance in the game. There's also a bulletin board with minor missions in the town of Zion, and I'm not going to lie, I ain't touched them shits. The story and the side content all feel like set dressing to get you to go out and beat other bosses and other smaller Natiba. But to be fair, the project director did let us know that he is not a storyteller. But he is a boobs man. That's right, this game's claim to fame are all about the titties. It's all about the jiggle physics, suits, and animations in this game. Boobies first, story second. Any cutscene in the game will manage to find a way to focus the camera on Eve's butt or boobies while she's doing the most acrobatic shit. Or even if she isn't doing that, they will still get a shot of her breasts in there. The only problem with this game is that people think that I played the game just to be a certified gooner and I only played it for her assets. Which is not the case because holy smokes is Eve hot, but the gameplay is hotter. Stellar Blade's combat is unlike traditional Souls-like combat. Instead of wielding an insane amount of different weapons with various stats to take into account like dexterity and strength, the game takes a Sekiro-like approach to its combat, opting to focus on parrying and countering using abilities and staggers, which is fantastic to me because Sekiro is my favorite FromSoft game and in my top 10 games of all time. Eve has a light attack, heavy attack, and a block as her basic moveset. This gradually expands over time, introducing beta energy, which acts as like a special meter, allowing you to use specific abilities like launching projectile energy from your sword or charging the blade up and swinging it to perform an AoE attack. Very useful for enemies that are weaker but also outnumber you by 3 or more units. You build this meter by attacking and parrying incoming enemies. There's also the burst energy, which is another special meter that builds up over time from performing perfect dodges. These abilities do about the same damage and are really there to let the player experiment with different playstyles. Do you want to parry everything then unleash a flurry of blows, or do you want to dodge everything and use the flashy moves that can break balance for enemies? The choice is nice. I can't forget about Tacky mode. I won't spoil how you earn it, but this mode is built up over time from doing damage and using special attacks. Once the meter is filled completely, you can perform an almost God of War rage-like mode, which then gives you new moves that you can't use otherwise. The reason most people will use this mode, including myself, is almost like a get out of jail free card, as any damage you take while in this form does not directly impact your character's health. The enemies can hit like a truck or combo you if you're not careful. And this can happen due to the fact that if you lock into a combo, well, buckle up, you sad son of a bitch, because you are locked and loaded in that combo. And if the enemy decides to just switch up on you and smash your cheeks in while Eve is over here doing flips and shit, trying to be the most acrobatic, over-the-top android possible, then say goodbye. But there are certain attacks that you can handle no matter what, and those would be the Simon Says dodge moves. There are 3 types of dodges that enemies will force you to use, and they use them frequently enough to keep you on your toes. The first is yellow, which means get the fuck out of the way, there is nothing you can do, there's nothing your sword can do, and you are going to be able to do nothing but dodge this. No blocking, no nothing. The second is blue, which means to dodge forward, allowing Eve to teleport behind the enemy and attack their backside while they're stun locked for a couple seconds. The third is purple, and can I just take a moment to say that I am annoyed they didn't make the yellow red instead of yellow, because that would give me a great hollow purple joke for all my Jujutsu Kaisen fans, or as my sister likes to call us, the Jujigas. But yes, the purple one means, brother, you dodge back so that you can do a heel kick into the face of whatever you're fighting. This will expose their weak spot, giving you the opportunity to shoot them with your fuck, I forgot there's also a gun. Fuck. Oh my gosh, I forgot about the gun. So yes, there's also a gun that you unlock with your little drone companion. Fuck, there's also a drone companion. So yes, there's also a drone companion I forgot to mention that Adam and Lily can communicate to you through, and can also let you scan the environment to find resources and collectibles. And the collectibles are kind of cool because they're soda cans, and yeah, that's about it for the main purpose of the drone. Right, back to the gun. So the gun shoots Natiba and can use a variety of different ammo, all of which are not that great to use actually. You have slugs, which are basically pistol rounds, micro missiles that can lock into targets and home onto them, and a laser beam that charges up and looks like it'll cook anything in front of it, when in actuality, the thing does little damage no matter what you use it on, especially on the bosses in this game. Speaking of bosses, let's get to that, because that is one of the main reasons that a lot of us play these games for. Right, so the bosses in this game are pushovers. Up until the last few hours of this game, the bosses pose little threat to Eve and her adventure. They all center around the main gameplay loop of whooping on them until they die, only this time they have a balance meter which can be depleted to allow you to hit a special move called Retribution. Yes, the regular enemies have this same meter. Did I forget to mention this until this section? Maybe. But yeah, attack the boss, break balance using perfect parries and special moves, use retribution, repeat. Aesthetically speaking, they are very cool looking and do look menacing, but they're all a bunch of softies. There's a turning point in this game where they do become a bigger threat to you, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but what I will do is show you the fight, but hide the name of the enemy to not give away any story spoilers. But yes, this boss right here is where I felt the game found its groove and didn't let up until the credits rolled. And be warned, there are 2 different boss fights at the end of the game that you can have to make the choice of determining which one you're gonna fight. Now, there is a right choice and a wrong choice here, and I'm not talking about the story, I'm talking about which boss you're fighting. One of these is incredible and the other is mid as hell. You know what? Fuck it. Spoiler alert. If you don't want this spoiled for you, please skip to this timestamp right here. But if you don't care about it and want to see the coolest boss in this game has to offer, then here we go. Here's the really lame one, which I don't have my own footage for because I would have to do a second playthrough, and here is the complete 180. That's where the boss arena, music, and moveset goes bonkers. All the bosses have unique movesets, and like I said, the last like 4 to 5 of them up the ante quite a bit. To name my 3 favorites, it would be Demo Crawler, Karakuri, and Elder Natiba. This section of these videos are going to be short only because I want you to go in kind of blind while playing through for the first time yourself. Half of the enjoyment comes from seeing bosses in these games for the first time, but know that overall they are solid with a few standouts. I would be doing y'all a disservice if I didn't talk about the presentation of Stellar Blade. You've seen this game for the past few minutes, and yes, it is very pretty. Clearly a bulk of time went to the graphics of the game, but my gripe with the game comes from the environmental design of the world. It is either desert, ruined city, or sewers, with the exception of the final couple hours where the environments do get a fresh coat of paint. Plus, there's a snow area, and I love snow areas, even if it was only for about half an hour. So while the environments lack a little bit of creativity, the music, on the other hand, is a whole different story. There are a few games where I can pick out more than a couple tracks that I like. Persona, Halo, Sonic Unleashed, specifically Sonic Unleashed, Final Fantasy, and now Stellar Blade. The music in this game is fantastic. It's intense when it needs to be, during boss encounters, and calm when resting at camps. The camp music is more jazz infused, while the rest of the game has more subtle or action-oriented vibes to it depending on what is happening at that given moment. There were a number of times where I would sit at the camp and just listen to music playing while planning out what I was going to do next in the world. The best track in the game plays during the Demo Crawler boss fight. That is a big reason why it is on my top 3 in this game. You want to talk about music being a major influence? This track single-handedly made me go from simply enjoying this game to straight up loving it. Up until this point, it felt like I was missing something, and then Eve comes across this boss, and right when she drops into the arena, the song drops, and you just know you're in for something special.
What have you done to yourself?
A few different games. Ew.
I see all that pain.
The Stellar Blade, it most certainly is, Jason. Ooh, the music? Ooh. Can we talk about the music? Holy shit. Who's cooking on the soundtrack? Oh my goodness gracious. Holy fucking shit, dude. The music's so good. I was currently listening to this track as I was scripting for this video, and you're currently listening to it right now. I'm just going to slowly fade off a screen now and let you enjoy this that I call peak. Oh, but wait, there's more. Then the track shifts, and goodness gracious, who cooked this hard? This song is now on my playlist and it needs to be in yours too. Now that I've gushed about this game, it's time to close with a thing that'll either turn you off or turn you on this game. The fan service. Yes, I touched on it earlier, and yes, there's a ton of fan service that comes from Eve's body armor or lack of body armor that she wears. I'm able to at least look past this because at the end of the day, the game is about the gameplay, and there are fits in the game that can reduce the amount of skin shown on the character. There are also skins that increase the amount of skin shown on the character, so do with that information what you will. In my honest opinion, if you can't look past that, then you're making it weird for yourself, because the whole time I was engaged in the game, all I could focus on was the enemy in front of me, and not Eve's ass cheeks swaying left and right. This is a great game, and I recommend it to anyone that is a fan of the genre. I am looking forward to seeing what Shift Up does next, and I believe it is 2 different projects. One of those being a sequel to this game, and I can't wait for that to come out. I can confidently say I like Stellar Blade. Hey, howdy. Shout out to y'all for being here. Welcome back to the green screen videos. Look at that. Look who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Got a green screen behind me. Who'd have thought? Not me. Welcome back. Thank you so much. We are being on the consistency train this year, aren't we? Shout out to all 800 people that are on this channel here, subscribe to us. We're trying to reach 1,000 by the end of the year. I really would appreciate you guys if you like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really helps me out immensely, motivates me to keep going. Someone just vibrated my phone. Motivates me to keep going. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna try and do a video a month, 1 to 2 videos a month on here, so I can kind of, you know, get this ball going, this track going here. So I really appreciate you guys being here, hanging out, all that fun stuff, vibe and jazz. And we are live on Twitch every morning except for Wednesdays and Thursdays for live streams of various games. I'm trying to do a video on a Souls-like a month, and also a different game that I just want to play in a month. So but that's my plan. Hopefully this whole thing works out. Really appreciate you guys being here. Also gonna wear a different Cardinals hat in every video, because why not? I got enough of them at this point, so let's just rock Cardinals logo, go Cards. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for just taking the time, chilling, all that fun stuff. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is. Please be safe, much love, don't get lost in the sauce, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.